A 30-year-old Israeli woman was gunned down by a Palestinian terrorist on the way to the hospital to deliver her baby. Well, Israeli tour guide Franny Waisman joins us now. So, Franny, what can you tell us about this horrific event?
I think that it's sitting in such a shocking place because unfortunately there are events like these in Israel. We are still fighting for our independence ever since 1948. Our neighbors haven't really accepted that, and some of the ways that they show that is by doing heinous terrorist attacks. And this one is so, it hurts a lot because she was 33. She's the mom of three. And you can imagine like the most happy time, like you feel the beginning of contractions. Anyone who's a mom has felt that, like, do I go to the hospital? To tell everyone we're on our way, we have to get someone to hang out with our kids. And they're literally going to one of the most happy, miraculous, and intimate moments of bringing life into the world. And at the same time, a man gets up and decides that his day is going to be shooting at innocent people in their cars and murdering this woman. Her baby, I would say about what I was reading is it probably took about 30 to 40 minutes for her to get to the hospital. The whole time they're trying to revive her, which is 30 to 40 minutes that her unborn child, she was 9 months pregnant, right? She's having the baby, was suffering intense trauma. Within 60 seconds that they got to the hospital, the baby was taken out and also had to go through life-saving medical intervention. But the baby is alive. The father, Hananel, is alive. I think that it also just shows the difference. Hananel, after he lost his wife and is now with a new baby alone, got up and did a number of interviews where he said, I'm not angry at God.
Oof.
And
Wow.
I know that we're strong. And I believe that we'll be good and things will be good. And I know that we're going to do our best, like, meaning just such poise, such faith, such character of like a good-hearted person. It just, the dichotomy is crazy.
So obviously, Franny, this hits home for you. You are Israeli. You are a mother, and I know this just happened. But how are you processing this?
Honestly, I'm not. Like, there's a certain level that, like, when the cup overflows, that it just takes time to even, like, there's almost a crazy place that, like, if I let my heart sit there, I won't be able to, like, go about my day. And currently my husband is again back in the military in reserves because things are heating up, which means I still have to be the mom to my 5 children. And so I read this and, like, I know her friends and I know her village and her, like, I know some circles around there, and I'm just thinking, like, it's too much. It's too much to process, to be honest.
You know, we were talking on WhatsApp, and I wanted to do this interview with you, and you said, hey, I'm performing at a concert. Let me see what's up afterwards.
Yeah.
Can you tell me what happened at that concert that you just got home from?
So this is actually, like, it's such a holy day for us here in Israel. The whole country, if you were to come here now, there are young people, old people lighting bonfires in the name, remembering a very great rabbi, Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, whose whole life was like bringing light into the world. And it's like a holiday. It's a holiday. And so this was a kind of like an outside bonfire concert with about 150 people. And it was like a sing-along event. Like, everyone was singing together. It was really beautiful, really uplifting. And in the middle, and it's outdoors in a forest venue type thing. And by the way, the forest that we played it at was actually created after the 3 boys, Eyal, Naphtali, and Gilad, were kidnapped, that instigated the Gaza war in 2014. They built that area. So we're there, and we hear the sirens going off, and the Houthis decided to shoot a bunch of missiles, ballistic missiles, at us. And so if you can imagine, you're in the middle of a forest and there's 150 people and everything's plugged in, you have your amps and all the sound, and you have to, like, you have a minute to, like, get all these people somewhere into safety. And we did our best, and thank God it's a real miracle that no one was hurt, because a huge piece of shrapnel fell very close to where we were.
Wow.
Like you just
Wow.
see the sky, it looks like Star Wars, and like you hear the booms, and you just pray that it's going to be okay.
It's an unimaginable reality. I know it's extraordinarily late in Israel, so I want to leave you with one kind of heavy question, which is this, which is it 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 just grinds my gears how much anti-Semitism is just exploding everywhere around the world. I take it very personally, um, but I wanted to give you kind of one last opportunity to respond to this. That I know someone in the comment section is going to say it, so I just want to see if you have any thoughts on it. Which is the idea of, well, she's from the occupied territories. In a way, she deserves this. Not that anyone part of this network agrees with that statement. I'm just saying that's what's going to be said in the comment section. How would you respond to that?
I would say that in a moral world, first of all, I specifically, my home has never been owned by anybody. It's never belonged to anybody. It has been a piece of land right next to where King David was herding his flock, and Ruth and Boaz, where my ancestors were. And no one's ever lived on this spot, specifically in the house that I'm living in. And I think in a moral world, in a moral and true society, no one should not be able to live in a place based on their ethnicity, on their religion, ever. What kind of a peace is it if there's a place that I can't live because I'm a Jew?
Hmm.
I think that's immoral. I think that for everybody should have the right to buy and build where they want. And so to say that I deserve something for buying a house, building it, raising my kids in a peaceful way with my neighbors, both Jewish and non-Jewish, never, out to hurt anybody. I think that the question of it's funny. Once I had a question of well, if you're living there, and that's stopping peace, like what about that? And it's really true. Is it peace if somebody can't live somewhere based on their ethnicity or religion? And that really should be the question.
Yeah, it is kind of startling when you drive around what's called, let's call it the West Bank, and there's these big red signs that say basically Israelis are not allowed to enter. It's Zone A, and you do have to almost take a step back and realize that there's one place in the world where Jewish people are kind of forbidden to live, and it's Judea. And it's like it's such a complicated situation. But I know it's super late where you are, Franny, but I think it's so important that people put a face and a name to these headlines that seem distant, but they're not. Franny Waisman, go to sleep. Toda rabah. God bless you, my friend.
Thank you. God bless.